Good day, everyone. I'm Ali Onoche David, and this is Impact View, making generational impact. And today I have someone very special. I'll be pleased to be speaking with someone very special to me. He's into UI UX design. He's a writer, he's a web developer, and he's by name Tochukwu John Maxwell, also known as JT Max.
Thank
My
you very
pleasure having
much.
you, sir.
Thank you very much, David.
Thank you
It's
very
good
much
to be
for
here.
accepting our invitation.
Thank you. The pleasure is all mine.
Thank you, sir. We'll be talking about academic excellence today, and Sir JT Max will be taking us on the ride today, sir. So before we even go into, because I have a lot to ask today, sir.
Okay.
Before we go into our topic for today, sir, seeing that this your pursuit for excellence is high, and even while on campus you are determined to come out with a good grade, which you did. So when did this passion start? Is it from the university or from your high school, which is the secondary school, sir?
Okay. The pursuit for academic excellence came with, I think it's more of an offshoot of a pursuit for excellence in life generally.
Okay.
And I would say it came from a very young age where I have seen the benefits of what it means to lead in a field or to be the best at what one does. So that benefit is one of the things that have encouraged me to keep pressing for the top and shoot for the stars.
That is the goal.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, sir. Let's start from this place, sir. Um, I was given a course to study. I applied a course actually, and I was not given my choice of course to study. And I have passion for the course I was given. So, what would be your advice to that person, sir? What would be your advice since you have been on campus and you're out already?
Yeah, I think what I would advise the person to do, the person must first of all understand that the reason why you have passion for the course you initially had passion for is because you have a perceived knowledge of what its benefit is
Yes.
in what you are going to do in the long run. So, what that means to the person then is if you are given a different course aside the one you initially desire, do your due diligence to find out what benefits those courses on the course you are giving has to play in the world at large and also probably in your personal life. Also look at people that has excelled in those fields that are doing very well. Probably their results could encourage you to press in and put in the effort. So also know that passion can be learned. It's not just an impartation. It is learned by what you perceive to be the benefit of where you're going.
Okay, you said passion can be learned. Like, can you tell us how?
Okay, like I said, passion is learned by what you understand to be the benefit of whatever you are doing. If, for instance, I understand that the benefit of being a computer science student comes with monetary benefit, like a high paying job, that could be a source of motivation that generates a passion for me to study the course and come out very good with it.
All right, sir.
Yes.
So, we still have some many questions for
All right.
dive into this notion of school as scam. School as scam. This thing didn't go well down with me.
Okay.
I'm just thinking that maybe people don't know the essence of schooling. Can you please just share what's the essence of schooling before we even go into school as scam?
Okay. Um, before we even talk about school in a scam, I think the phrase is generally popularized by people who use examples such as Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg, for instance, as people that have dropped out from the school, from the tertiary institution. While that is true, first of all, you have to do some weighing of the things they did because they dropped out from schools such as Harvard. And I think a Harvard dropout is better than most other schools on a general note. The criteria it takes to enter
enter.
Harvard is an enormous criteria that one needs to go through, right? So, on the basis of that, another thing I would like to say about that is you need to also understand that for every one person that succeeded after dropping out, there are thousands that succeeded without dropping out.
Wow.
So there are multiple people that are doing excellently well that went through the rigors of schooling and came out excellently. But back to your question, the essence of schooling, I think, or rather, I believe schooling is beyond the academic work you engage in. Now, education is comprised or is a compendium of many things. The skills you learn, the ideas you build, the relationship you build, the people you meet, facts, of course, and knowledges, several knowledge that you learn from different people. Those are the things that combine to make what we say someone has or someone is educated, both formally or informally. So when you look at the large collage of the benefits education has to offer, you know it's not just about the books. It's far beyond the books. If you check it, people that go through the university, I think they are more articulate and different from those who are uneducated. So yeah,
Wow, the benefit and exposure.
yes.
Yeah, exposure. Okay, sir, this notion of school and scam, is it a Nigerian phrase or is applied to everywhere in the world?
Yeah, I think it's much more popularized by Nigerian students, but you would need to reconsider that the world is a global village. And if you think locally, of course, you will act on a local scale. But when you know that your actions and inactions have global relevance, I believe you would consider doing things that has greater impact in the world so that when you are, if you are learning any endeavor now, you consider it on a larger scale, how it plays out to the world at large. So yeah.
That is a good one. So you have to think beyond, you don't need to think wide and vast.
Yes, think beyond Nigeria. Yeah.
Okay. So coming down to a fresher now, that is someone that just in 100 level that manages way to pass the WAEC and JAM into the tertiary institution.
Yeah.
How is he going to accommodate and tolerate a system that does not accommodate F? You know, in secondary school, you might have A's in 5 subjects and have F in one. You can see proceed to the next
Yeah.
class. But this one, you must pass the course.
Yeah.
How are you going to accommodate with that system?
I think um, failure is not permanent.
Okay.
If you didn't do well in, say, your secondary school or high school, as it were, I think the systems of the world naturally offers you a new opportunity to make a difference. It's a new level, it's a new environment, and you can leverage on different system it has to offer. One of those which you can leverage on, for instance, is to get a friend that is good academically and associate yourself with them, like the Holy Book said, "He that walks with the wise shall be wise."
Wise. Okay.
I like another phrase that said, "If you are a friend of five broke people, you become the fifth broke person or the sixth broke person." So, if you consider that phrase and decide to associate yourself with people that are better than you, I think you would do well. You would come up and become better than you were before you came into the university. So, you could consider that. And let me just mention that no great success is cheap. If you know a road that leads to that's easy, I think you should avoid it because success or greatness in itself it takes hard work.
Hard work, discipline.
Yes.
All right, so let's come over to you now. As a graduate now, you know you have experienced many things on campus, and would like to ask, sir. I know you came out with a very, very good result,
Yeah.
a very, very good result for that matter. And sir, based on my knowledge, you serve as the Bible study coordinator
Okay.
and in FCS, that is Fellowship of Christian Students
Yeah.
in Futimina. That was in 400 level. And you served again as the general president in the same fellowship as FCS.
Yeah.
How were you able to still come out with a good result, an excellent result for that matter? How are you able to manage your time, your relationship with people? How are you able to do it? I don't get it.
All right. First of all, I would say I owe the outcomes of my life to God, the
Okay.
grace of God. It really took the grace of God to really achieve such feats. And secondly, I would like to mention, or rather give credence to my spiritual father, Dr. Paul Neche.
Wow. So I'm
Yes.
speaking to the son of Pastor Paul Enenche.
Yes,
It's a
by
privilege,
God's
sir.
mercy. Yes, thank you. The story he told us about himself and the things he did while on campus was really encouraged me, because examples are the best communicators of principles.
Yes, sir.
He said how that while he was in the university, he was a full-time minister and a part-time medical student.
Wow.
It's unheard of to say someone is a part-time medical student. But when he told us such story, I drew a lot of wisdom from it. I drew inspiration from it and said this is also possible with me. So when I came in 100 level, I had a clear-cut vision of what I wanted
Okay.
to graduate with. I think I sat down one time, I wrote it down. I said I want to graduate with a 4.75.
Wow. That's the first class.
Yes, a first class CGPA. But I later cancelled it and said, no, 4.75 is too low. Let's increase it to
It's
4.82.
too.
So the vision was clear. I also had a clear cut vision on my finance also.
Okay.
All right. So I came up with this phrase, sort of a mantra, that it is possible to be academically excellent, spiritually on fire, financially buoyant, and emotionally stable all at the same time.
Wow.
Not something you do periodically. So that possibility invigorated me and impacted me with such um, passion to pursue the possibility of holding various aspects of my life and still come out outstanding. Uh, and also, I had to plan strategically, because um, I sat down while I was in 100 level and I was thinking, what do I want by the end of my stay here on campus? Having defined the result I wanted, defined that I also want to hit some certain level of financial overflow before I leave the campus. That encouraged me. So in 200 level, I started leadership, the company, along with friends, and we started raising leaders, as it were. So planning is a very important aspect of what helped us to maintain our results, irrespective of it. Even while we were still doing a lot of travels here and there, because that's one of the things that comes with the leadership responsibility. So I had to manage my time very well while networking with other friends, also to ensure that I'm not missing too much of class, as it were. So those were the things. And also you also need to learn to say no to some things. While I was in um, 200 level, I was called to become the general secretary of my department, but I had to decline. They later came back in 400 level that I should be the coordinator of that's the faculty president. But I also declined that, because one has to align himself with where he's going at
Focus.
every point in time. Yeah, maintain focus. So yeah.
I think this will dive us to the next question,
Yeah.
talking about goal setting and planning.
Okay.
Can you tell us? Okay, you've even spoken about some goals you set down while on
Yeah.
while you're in 100 level. Can you tell us how we're able to achieve them?
Mm.
How are you able to achieve those goals you set while on 100 level?
Okay. One of the ways I ensured that I can achieve the goals I set was to have, of course, a great deal of self-discipline goes into that, right? You must be able to give up something in order to get something. You must not do everything, for instance. So I had to engage a whole lot of self-discipline. Without discipline, it doesn't matter how good where you want to go looks like. Without discipline, you may never get there. Or even if you get somewhere, it's most likely not going to be the place you desire. Discipline is very important, I believe. Second thing that also helped me in achieving the goals was to have accountability partners. I report to my mentors on a frequent basis, quarterly, monthly, and I was doing that consistently. So usually at the beginning of the month, I look forward to sending my mentors my reports for that month. So that desire to produce something good by the end of the month impacts me with the consistency to stay with my goals, right? And also the vision I had was also compelling enough to keep me pressing and pressing and pressing and pressing. And of course, in goal setting and achieving, you will keep getting little wins. Those are your sources of encouragement. But at some point in time, you may get tired and weary. At that point, you will also need the assistance of friends and mentors to also remind you of where you desire to go, right? For a student, you should really think about your life beyond school
Okay.
and put everything into perspective. Know that this school time is a phase, and you have to be prepared for the next phase. So, getting your goals and getting yourself ready and hitting what this level demands is very important. So, if I said I'm going to read, usually another thing that helped me, if I said I'm going to read at a certain point in time, I put every strategy to ensure that I do that. Sometimes for me, it could be reading after class. I try to review my notes after class every day in order to gain knowledge of what was taught that day, right? So, and various other methodologies that I apply to progress.
All right, sir. I know you are very disciplined to come out with a good and excellent result
Yeah.
from computer science. So, what keeps you afresh? What's that thing that keeps that thing that refreshes your being your spirit to achieve more?
Okay. First of all, I will call it or something I term the power of self motivation that comes by the help of the Spirit.
Okay.
If you are not inspired, you can't do a lot of things. You have to stay inspired. I learned from Mike Murdoch. He said he buys a new briefcase every 6 months,
Wow.
just to stay inspired. Right? He said it makes him it inspires him. Right? So one thing that inspires me is the stories of men that have achieved greatness. I could tell you off the top of my head the biography or at least much of the story of people like Miles Monroe, people like um, Nelson Mandela, leaders like many of them, Bishop David Oyedepo, their stories were really a source of encouragement. If it was possible with them, then it's possible with us also. So I read a lot of their stories, listened to their tape, and how they were able to navigate their time when they were much younger or in our present phase. So yeah, those were the source of encouragement. And of course, I must mention, of course, God was really.
Wow.
First of all, I said the power of self motivation that comes by the Spirit of God. Yeah, I am constantly inspired by the Spirit to do things. Yeah.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure having you, sir.
Yes.
But sir, can you recommend any book that
Okay.
has made your leadership journey a smooth ride, sir?
All right. Leadership encompasses various spheres of life, so I would recommend books on that note. For academics, I will encourage you read How to Win at College by Cal Newport.
Okay.
For finance, I will encourage you read and apply. Better than 1,000 read and not applied.
Okay.
For finance, I will encourage you read um, um, this George S. Cleason's book. That's The Richest Man in Babylon. Powerful book. If you want to be disciplined and manage your time better, I will encourage you to read Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing I will encourage every fresher to read on that book is Battle for the Young by Billy. It's a very powerful book. I find it inspiring, right, to move to the next level. For relationship, two books I will recommend. Read Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. I mean godly relationship now. Then relationship with other people, I would recommend you read How to Win and Influence People. How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's by Dale Carnegie. And fundamentally, as a Christian, I would encourage every student to read the Bible, Genesis to Revelation, at least 5 times before you graduate from the university. There are various methodologies and systems you can apply to achieve that. Yeah, so those are the books I would recommend.
Those books you just mentioned up to 6 or 10.
Yes,
You've read everything.
I've read all of them,
Wow.
every single one of them.
I'm inspired to I'm inspired to go and count some more books now.
Please, it's very important. I actually read more books just to inspire someone. In 300 level, I bought 54 books in one sitting.
55.
Yes, and that cost a lot. Each time I visit a state, I attempt to buy a book. When I visited Kaduna State, I bought the books, a large, close to 6, 7 books, and they were not cheap. Yeah, we are where we are not by accident. Like Bishop Oyedepo said, I would have been surprised at where we are. All right, so please do read books. It helps. Secrets are hidden in books, and those who find it become better.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Don't forget, readers are leaders. So thank you for staying with us on today's show on Impact View. And remember, you make generational impact. Thank you very much.